Hello and welcome to Eye on Port, where we bring Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. At Eye on Port, we also discuss trading issues that have some direct or indirect effect on the port business. It is made possible by Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL, PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Eye on Port is powered by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Last week, thousands of stakeholders within Ghana's horticulture sector gathered for an expo in Accra, where President Mahama laid out a bold vision for the sector. This week on Eye on Port, we took to the studio to discuss further how we can drive growth and exports in the horticulture sector. But before we get into that main discussion, let us have a look at the event from last week, which will segue into that discussion. The past week saw the staging of one of the country's most promising agricultural trade events, the Ghana Horticulture Expo 2025. Hosted at the Accra International Conference Center from June 11 to 13, the 3-day expo brought together over 200 exhibitors and 3,000 visitors under the theme Innovate, Transform and Sustain, driving growth in Ghana's horticulture sector. This second edition of the expo was organized by the Federation of Associations of Ghanaian Exporters in collaboration with the Ghana Export Promotion Authority and the Ghana Export and Import Bank, with a strong emphasis on empowering the youth in Ghana's horticulture value chain. The event was officially opened by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, who reaffirmed his government's unwavering commitment to agribusiness and announced a renewed national program to support Ghana's horticulture potential.
We're also implementing a game-changing strategy, the 24-Hour Economy Initiative, to unlock Ghana's productive potential across all sectors. And I'm pleased to announce that on July 1st, the 24-Hour Initiative policy will be ready to go into operation. This policy will provide the framework for continuous production, processing and logistics in horticulture. It allows perishable goods like pineapples, mangoes, chilies and herbs to move swiftly from the field to ports to international shelves, minimizing losses and maximizing value.
Other speakers also acknowledged Ghana's strategic position in emerging leadership in Africa's agricultural transformation agenda, citing the country's immense potential to become a competitive agro-industrial hub of excellence and the critical role platforms like this Expo play in achieving that goal.
Imagine a Ghana where irrigation pumps hum through the night, nature crops while we sleep, agro-processing plants run second and third shifts, turning fresh produce into juices and dried fruits for export. Refrigerated trucks move goods from farm gates to port terminals at 2 a.m., beating traffic and preserving freshness. Cargo terminals and inspection desks operate round the clock, facilitating seamless exports. Digital platforms enable real-time trade across time zones, matching Ghanaian produce with buyers across the globe. This is not a fantasy, His Excellency. It is a vision within reach. If we are bold enough to coordinate policy, energy access, security, labor structures, and technology.
Over the past year, our support for agribusinesses have intensified through specialized facilities such as our export trade facility, receivables discounting schemes, and provisional guarantee instruments. GAZIM has enhanced access to working capital for exporters, improved liquidity, and de-risked investment in agricultural value chains. We are especially focused on enabling SMEs and youth-led businesses to scale production and meet export standards.
Today marks a proud moment for the Ghana Export Promotion Authority as we come together to spotlight Ghana's horticultural potential. This expo positions Ghana as a leading hub for horticultural excellence in Africa. Indeed, Ghana is steadily establishing itself on the global stage for high-quality horticultural products and exports.
Let us have this expo with removed and renewed conviction that horticulture is not a side note in Ghana's development agenda, it's a strategic pillar. That our fruits can nourish both stomachs and economies. That together we can make Ghana the horticulture of West Africa, if not the whole of Africa.
President Mahama also opened the exhibition at the Expo grounds, where several companies mounted stands showcasing the quality products they have to offer.
He mentioned the fact that, yes, one of the takeaways he took from the Expo was the fact that, yes, the packaging was apt compared to any international product that you find on the shelves globally. I know this has been a very long-standing issue, the issue of packaging, right from the days when Madam Majori Abdin and Co were in the leadership of FAGE and all that. I just want to find out from you, was it deliberate? How did you get your people, the exhibitors, so to speak, to package their products quite nicely?
We are being intentional about what we are doing, because for us, we think that the other countries are no better than us when it talks about product development. One thing they are beating us with, they have funding to be able to do that. It's not, when you talk about common sense, we all have the common sense, but then the wherewithal is what has been the problem. And that's the more reason why you see our packaging. You saw our packaging years back, not really fitting the international standard. But as we speak now, currently, nobody will want to purchase anything that is under the standard, below standard, because in any case, there are certification processes. Because anybody who is into this, we try to build their capacity, make sure that they work through the various standards. That's the more reason why we have the certification bodies all over trying to train them and make sure that they produce to that standard. So if the produce is getting to the standard, the packaging material should also get to the standard. The handling and other things should also get to that particular standard. And that was the reason why you saw. But I think for me, the Horti Expo was just a small place. If you really want to see it, let's go back to the various factories. All the various exhibitors who came have factories all over. So we can go back to their factories and see what they are doing. Or we can go to the various supermarkets and see what they put there. That tells you that they are ready for competition.
I'll still stay with you and ask. The Youth Agribusiness Clinic was one of the key highlights of this year's Expo. I just want to find out from you your candid assessment of how effective it was and whether you have plans to, as it were, institutionalize it.
Yeah, so the the SME clinic was one of the biggest highlights as well, because we saw a lot of SMEs going there to ask. The name goes by, it's a clinic. We set it as a clinic, so you go there and meet somebody to walk you through all the norms, from establishment of your company through to the production, export, and the likes. And if you look at the output or outcome, I think that what we are going to do is not going to be another wonder. What we are going to do is we're going to put them together. That's the more reason why I'm happy the GPHA Export School. Currently, the GPHA Export School is going to they are tweaking it a bit where faith comes in. And I'm happy Mr. Omani just said it. So faith comes in to be able to look like mentor the youth, because what they want to see success. And they can't just wake up and say, look, I want to go into Expo. So the only thing to walk them through all the rudiments, make sure that you build their capacity. When I tell me the skill set, you build their capacity. You tell them what the market is looking for, where the markets are, the branding and the likes, and also give them the market itself, because they can't start producing or adding value when they don't have market. And that is faith. We stand for the exit. When I talk about the exit, we talk about the market, because we have been attending one of our major things to be able to stimulate export through most of this. We do that through trade shows and the likes. So once we attend trade show, we get the market. So we bring the market and say, look, these are the standards. These are the requirements to that market. Produce to meet those markets. So that is how we wanted to package it. We want to get the youth on board and make sure that we hold their hands to right. And I'm happy, like I said, to say that If I look at the outcome of the recent just ended Horticulture Expo and the youth clinic, I think that we have a future for these youth in this country.
Right.
Yeah.
Also.
There's serious future.
Right. So let me come to Mr. Asante Umani and find out from you whether you have specific market access strategies as GEPA, to implement and help Ghanaian exporters compete in the EU and even in Africa under this whole AFTA arrangement.
Yeah, thank you. So just to talk about the branding, then I'll come back to the question. So GEPA has an activity that we call shelf scanning. So periodically, we have people going to the major shops to scan the shelves and see what products are there. So if the quality is not, or the branding is not as competitive enough, we put the contacts on it, we call them to the office, and we take them through some training.
Right.
So I think that has also contributed to the branding and the packaging of what you saw during the Expo.
Yes.
Now, yes, we have strategies. So the first thing that we do is we conduct market intelligence on a lot of these things, because you cannot do intelligence, you cannot access any market without knowing what the market wants.
Exactly.
So the market intelligence, then we do trade missions. So when we're able to identify the market, then we go there and speak to the Chamber of Commerce in those countries.
Right.
We also use the trade promotion organizations in those countries. We engage them to know what the market actually wants and what are the requirements for somebody to access those markets.
Right.
When all these things are done, then there's a need for us to go and showcase what we have. That's where the trade fairs and exhibitions and things comes in. So when we go, we showcase, we exhibit, then we're able to get some potential buyers and some potential investors. Even now, the objective is shifting a bit to not only buyers, but to investors. Because you need investment in the sector. You need huge investors to actually come and partner existing producers and existing exporters to be able to upscale what they are doing. So that has been our strategy. So when when there is capacity to be built, we build the capacity.
Yeah.
For after, I'm sure you are aware that you have the export trade house in Kenya.
Kenya, absolutely.
Yes, as we speak, there are more than about 600 different products on the shelves of the warehouse there.
Wow.
Plans are far advanced to establish quite a number of them in other key markets. I can talk of South Africa, that we want to establish one in South Africa, and even beyond, even Germany and the Americas and things. We have plans to establish these trade houses there.
Right.
Because when they are there, we're able to get access to those regional blocks. So, for instance, the Kenya one is serving the Eastern African bloc, but Kenya is just being used as a gateway to enter the market.
Right.
So we have quite some strategies to ensure that our products get to the destination markets and gets there wholesome. Yes.
Let me come to Mr. Ivan Sako and find out from you in terms of supporting infrastructure, in this industry. I just want to find out from you how you go about it, and such as cold chains. And in these expo zones, how do you go about supporting them? Do you have any specific, roles that you play?
Yeah, thank you very much. What we focus in that line is providing agro-processing factories at locations where we have products for export. So we set up those factories, 2 reasons. One, to process for export, and also to drastically minimize post-harvest losses.
Right.
And to that effect, currently the bank is in the process of setting up a whole unit or department that is going to now focus on agro-processing alone.
Wow.
Agro-processing alone.
Right.
And that is what we do. Now, we also notice that immediately you set up these factories, raw materials becomes a challenge.
Right.
Currently, most of the factories that we finance are not producing to full capacity because lack of raw material.
Shortage of raw
so
materials.
We are doing a bit of a backward integration where an agri-business department is being set up.
Right.
And their focus is to finance agri-farms in large quantities.
Right.
One, to feed the processing centers, and then also for food security.
Right.
Now, we've noticed with experience that you don't set up a factory when there isn't adequate raw material to feed the factory. So immediately we are setting the agro-processing department, we are setting an agri department where special funding will be given for large-scale farming to feed these factories. Now, in time past, in Central Region, they have pineapple, they have citrus, and we set up one big pineapple factory, which is one of the largest in West Africa, in Ekumfi.
Right.
Today, they are exporting to Walmart. Then we set up another one in Elimina because they have a lot of pineapple and citrus there so that they can mop up the raw material there,
Right.
and they are operating now.
Right.
Then in Asebu, if you know in Ghana, Asebu
Yes.
has the largest orange and one of the sweetest oranges in the whole of the country.
Right.
So we supported a company which is set up in Asebu to process the citrus, and they are also going to process coconut water for export.
Right.
All that they are going to produce, majority of it is going to be for export.
Right.
Now we notice that most of the mango processors are in Accra. The Blue Skies,
Yeah.
the Beaumont and Co are in the south.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of mangoes in the north.
North,
a lot of
absolutely.
mangoes in BA.
Yes.
But Fage will know that most of the time they mop what they can get in the south first
Sure.
before they go to the north. So the bank strategically set up a mango processing factory
Right.
in Kumasi to take care of all those farms up north.
Absolutely.
So that whilst the processing factories in the south are taking care of the product in the south,
Yeah.
that one, and that has been established and is doing very well now.
Right.
So viewers, you just heard from the Federation of Association of Ghanaian Exporters, the Ghana Exports Promotion Authority, and the Ghana Export and Import Bank on the practical steps and the activities that have been going on so far and what they intend to do in future to help drive and grow export in the horticulture sector. Remember, this is the abridged version. For the full conversation, check with our YouTube at Eye on Port. Now let us hear from you on some of the comments you shared with us on this subject after we'll go on break and then return with more news. Stay tuned.
Amma from Accra says, GEPA and Phage must help more Ghanaians understand the export process. Many have the land and crops, but no idea how to even start. Rashid from Tamale says, let's not forget logistics. Without cold storage and better roads, we can't grow exports. What are the banks doing to invest in that?
At where a road is very strategic,
Right.
we've come in to provide capacity building, which is grant facility, so that the roads can be worked on.
Yes.
Normally, we will not do it hard, but we'll make it more trouble, feeder road, so that the goods can go in and come out.
Yes.
And when client is able to justify this, we come in to support. There are times too that we liaise with the necessary agencies and departments, so that when we do the funding, they also come in and do their bit to support the client.
All right.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefi. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, streetlights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Serene Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Welcome back, viewers. Now let us take our local news segment.
The Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Brigadier General Glover Ashon Annan, has met with officials at the Tema collection as part of his working visit to engage frontline personnel and chart the course for the division's future under his leadership. The meeting, which took place on Monday, June 9, 2025, saw the Commissioner outline a transformational agenda centered on three core pillars: digitalization, streamlining of operational procedures, and enhanced stakeholder engagement. Brigadier General Annan emphasized the need to modernize customs operations and pledged to revitalize the Customs Training Academy at Petoi, boost logistics support at collection points, and strengthen internal administrative systems.
The academy is there, and it's just lying fallow. Apart from the recent custom officers that we passed down, training is actually not going on seriously. So I intend using the academy very well. So we'll have a two-tier, one for the juniors and then one for the seniors, and it's custom billing. And so it is, the idea is to enhance officers' strategic thinking capacity and also reinforce the understanding of global geopolitics in line with our paramilitary stature.
As part of his visit, the Commissioner also took time to tour key operational areas under the Tema collection. This included a fishing harbour, the Golden Jubilee Terminal, and the Transit Terminal, where he interacted with staffs and gained first-hand insight into daily operations and challenges. He assured personnel that the concerns raised will be addressed promptly to create a more efficient working environment. He expressed confidence in the Tema collection's ability to meet and exceed its 2025 revenue target over 23 billion cedis. As of May, the collection already had mobilized 17.2 billion cedis, a performance the commissioner described as a strong signal of the team's capability. Nationally, the Customs Division is expected to rake in 72.6 billion cedis by the end of the year. On the economy, Brigadier General Annan stated that the cedi's recent appreciation against major international trading currencies is expected to yield medium to long-term benefits for the country's trade outlook.
The duties they were paying, somebody said it was paying like 120,000 duty for an item. Currently, the person is paying 60,000, which means that the person will now have more cedis to import, an additional. So we see the revenue dipping in the short term, but in the medium to long term, we are sure that this will go up. But there are a few things that we need to be doing. With the depreciation, it means that we must enhance classification, valuation, and examination.
Supporting the Commissioner's vision, the sector commander of the Tema Collection, Assistant Commissioner Teresa Potaki, assured him of her outfit's continued commitment to national revenue goals. She noted that the Tema Collection remains the backbone of customs operations and pledged to work closely with the new commissioner to exceed expectations.
The total revenue garnered for the period of January to May this year is 17.206 billion, with a deviation of 27.85%. Commissioner, in spite of the present shortfall, Tema Collection is poised and resolute in the quest to attain this year's revenue targets and exceed it. And I know my officers are up to the task and will do it.
This visit marks one of Brigadier General Annan's first official engagements since assuming office and sets the tone for what many anticipate will be a result-driven tenure.
If you're happy and you know, say amen. Amen. Put a smile on the chances.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, in partnership with the Rotary Club of Tema Meridian, has renovated 3 classrooms at the Save Them Young Orphanage School in Ashaiman, Bethlehem, putting smiles on the face of children and caregivers alike. The renovation, undertaken through a 70,000 Ghana cedi appeal by the Rotary Club, involved plastering, tiling, window installation, painting and electrical works. These refurbished spaces are set to serve as a crèche, a special needs classroom and a library, critical learning environment for the orphanage's 75 children, many of whom were brought in through social services, DOFSU and the court system. Speaking during a tour of the renovated facilities on Thursday, June 12, 2025, orphanage physician Alfred Nyankum detailed the transformation, highlighting the continuous efforts of the orphanage's founder, Reverend Dr. Colleen Opoku-Amoaben, to improve educational infrastructure through donor support.
So this is a 2-story building. And then we've gotten to this far because anybody can walk in to support. Right. So what we are seeing are support from loved ones that comes. So we are stuck now. So we are praying that we get another sponsor who will help us.
President of the Tema Meridian Rotary Club, Adelaide Owusu-Mensah, who led coordination efforts, commended GPHA for its consistent support. She encouraged the authority to keep prioritizing impactful community projects and its CSR outlook.
To Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, before you even go around, we say a big thank you. But we also say that we are not done yet. We desire to build more of such impactful partnerships with you. So when we knock again, you know what I mean. Oliver and Olivia, we ask for more. So when we knock on your door, we hope your doors will always be open. We can do even more. Together we can touch more lives.
GPHA's delegation was led by Kennedy Mona, Principal Marketing and Corporate Affairs Officer, who reaffirmed the authority's commitment to supporting initiatives that align with its core CSR pillars of health, education and environment.
I must say GPHA is pleased to have been able to also lend a support, lend a helping hand. My understanding is that this is a 3rd project that GPHA has collaborated with Rotary to undertake. And I know it's work in progress. This is not the end of it. We know that, the collaboration will go on as far as we have life and as far as the business is sustained and it keeps rolling.
Headmistress of the orphanage, Amanda Moabeng, also expressed deep appreciation for the intervention, calling it a timely act of kindness that brings hope to the most vulnerable.
But we just pray for everybody that participated, for Rotary Club for noticing us, for supporting, that everything or every desire that you look for, every person who paid a dime or who participated in one way or the other, even taking the video, we say God richly bless you from the depths of our hearts. Our prayers will go on for you daily, even from the children. Now there's a proper reason to wear their uniforms every day because they have a classroom to go to. So again, we say thank you so much.
Let us now take our lenses to the international stage and see what is happening there too.
Indian authorities have launched a criminal case against the owner, master, and crew members of the container ship MSC Elsa III, which sank off the coast of Kochi, India, last month. The vessel sank on May 25, 2025, approximately 13 nautical miles off Kerala's coast after developing a severe starboard list a day earlier. The incident occurred while the ship was en route from Vizinjam to Cochin. All 24 crew members were subsequently rescued by the Indian Coast Guard. Authorities have charged the accused under multiple sections of the Indian Justice Code, including reckless navigation, endangering public ways of navigation, and negligent handling of hazardous substances. The First Information Report, FIR, states that despite knowing the vessel carried hazardous and inflammable materials, the accused operated the vessel negligently. Australia's Port of Brisbane has launched Vision 2060, a roadmap aimed at strengthening Queensland's economic position, preparing trade infrastructure for future demands, and guiding the port's shift toward greater sustainability and efficiency. Developed in collaboration with industry, government, and community partners, Vision 2060 reportedly outlines a long-term strategy for the Port of Brisbane to support economic development while integrating innovation and environmental responsibility. It is understood that by 2060, Queensland population is expected to reach 8.3 million, with trade growing and evolving to keep pace. Container trade is projected to triple, and cruise passenger volumes more than quadruple. Furthermore, according to PBPL, there is a potential that energy demand could increase tenfold as the broader port community seeks to decarbonize.
This week's word of the day is declaration. The customs declaration carried out by the importer allows the authorities to determine if the goods are authorized to enter the country and if they are subject to import licenses or quotas. Custom duties are levied on the basis of the declaration. Customs uses the declaration for statistical purposes. This week's health and safety tip focuses on the importance of keeping a well-stocked first aid box.
Keep a well-stocked first aid box. However small your business, it's important to have a properly stocked first aid box. Have someone monitor its contents to make sure it always contains the necessary first aid items. Depending on your organization's size, you may also need to have staff on site with first aid training. Make sure their first aid qualification is kept up to date.
Now viewers, it's time to take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the ports of Tema and Takoradi at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. All right, this brings us to the close of this week's edition of Eye on Port. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Eye on Port content can be found on our YouTube channel, Eye on Port. Subscribe, like, share our videos. Thank you for watching.